Hello everyone, this is Matt from Real World Review, and today we're going to fix the screen on the BlackBerry Priv. So for this repair, what we're going to do is we're actually going to replace the screen with the entire top frame rather than just the glass. I highly recommend doing this, especially because the parts aren't too expensive. So the tools that you'll need will be a pick, a T3 driver, and something to pry with, like a credit card. So the first thing we want to do is turn off the phone, but since the screen is broken, it won't allow me to do that, so let's move on. So let's remove the SIM card tray and the memory card tray, and then what we're going to do is grab a pick and start prying on the phone. The easiest way is to pry on the sides where the volume buttons are, and then start going up to the top. I suggest using something plastic so you don't break anything. Also, don't pry on the bottom yet because that's how the back comes off. Once we have those sides up, you can lift up the back and slide it down. Now the next thing you want to do is grab the T3 driver and start removing all the screws that you see. Make sure to unplug the battery, and once you have all the screws out, lift up this gray piece, or remove it. Next, you want to unplug the screen cables, which are these two cables right here, and then this cable right here. There is a little bit of adhesive on there, so be careful. Next, you can remove this bottom speaker by lifting straight up. And then we can start to take out the logic board. So you'll want to pry a little bit on the right side, make sure that this cable is out of the way, and then you can start lifting up on the other side as well. Lift it up to the left side because there is a cable behind the board. All you need to do is unlatch that cable and then the board will be free. Now there's screws on the left side and there's also screws on the right side, so this means that you'll have to remove the battery. Also, the headset jack started falling out, so I took it out just to be careful. Next, you want to remove the battery. Obviously, you don't want to do too much damage to this battery, but it is very difficult to get this battery out. So what I did is grabbed a credit card and started loosening up the adhesive on the bottom so then the battery would come out. Make sure to be careful around the middle and top of the battery because there is a cable behind it. Once the battery is removed, you can set it aside. If the battery got bent, you can lay it on a flat surface like shown, and it should straighten it out. Just make sure there's nothing under the battery. Next, we can take out the 4 T3 screws on each side that's holding the frame together. Once that's done, lift the panel straight up and the 2 cables will come out. Now what you want to do is the reverse of that. What you want to do is feed those 2 cables through the slot, which could be a little bit difficult, so do it however you feel is easiest. Once the cables are through, when you set down the frame, it will line up because it links in to the sliding mechanism. Now you can put the 8 T3 screws back in place. Once those screws are in, you can put the headset jack back on if that fell off, and start by plugging in the cable that plugs into the bottom of the board. This may be difficult, just make sure not to shove it in place. Now line up the board like shown. Once the board is lined up, start putting in all the screws, including the bottom 2 panels. Now we're left with 2 screws for the battery, so let's plug in the screen to make sure that it lines up. Once that's plugged in, we can put the battery back on and put the 2 screws back in place. Once the screws are in, you can put the gray sheet back in place. Next, you will grab the back panel and slide the bottom part in, and then clip the side parts. Make sure to be careful around the volume buttons and the power button because those could get stuck, and sometimes they're a pain to put back in. Once everything clicks in properly, you can put the SIM card tray back in place along with the memory card tray back in place, and make sure that everything powers on. And that's it. Hope this video helped you out. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section or on Twitter at MattofRWR. And feel free to follow me on the social media listed above. Also subscribe to my channel so you can see more videos like this. And hit that bell button so then YouTube reminds you when those videos do come out. Thanks for watching.